You can improve your life by modeling Michael Jordan's techniques in building a legendary scoring drive. And we're going to talk about it right now. It's Tom! From March of 1986 to December of 2001, Michael Jordan put together 866 consecutive games in the double digits, meaning he scored 10 points or more for almost 18 years. To put that in context, his streak was almost old enough to legally vote, get married, and sign a binding contract. But MJ's streak is only hinted at in the recent miniseries, The Last Dance. Most people would agree that Michael Jordan is one of the very best to ever play basketball, and a good majority of those would agree that he is the very best who ever played the game. Now, as great as MJ was, not every game was magical. In fact, some games, his three-pointers were air balls. Some games, his layups wouldn't land. And some games, even his dunks bounced off the rim. But he was Michael freaking Jordan. He found ways to score points. In Jordan's case, though, that meant putting his body in harm's way to get intentionally fouled so that he could make it to the free throw line. Michael Jordan scored 83.5% of all of his free throws during the course of his career. But how does that pertain to us? Sometimes our shots don't score. Sometimes it feels like we're out of options, and sometimes it feels like we've tried everything. But there are still ways that we can score points by getting to our free throw lines. Let's say, for instance, you're looking for a job. Now, new jobs pop up every single day on the job boards, but not in every single occupation. So what do you do when you've applied to all of the jobs in your field on the job boards? What do you do? What do you do? Like Jordan, you can still score points by making it to your free throw line. Network to get introductions to people within your target company. Take a job search related workshop. Pick up the phone. Go on LinkedIn. Maybe even take a meeting with a recruiter or two. Let's look at something else, and this is even silly to even consider. Let's say, for instance, I don't know, there's a worldwide pandemic or something. And let's just say you can't make it to the gym. How do you score points? Where's your free throw line? How can you be like Mike? Well, you can do body weight exercises like push-ups and pull-ups. The reason they've been around forever is because they work. Now, admittedly, you may not turn into Schwarzenegger overnight, but they are a good way to keep your gains, and you may even improve your fitness. Let's take another example. Let's say you're constantly late for everything. Let's say also that you run out of time constantly for the things you want or need to do. How can you make it to your free throw line? How can you score points? And again, how can you be like Mike? True story, that was me not too long ago. A few years back, I realized I was late for everything. I didn't accomplish everything I wanted, and I wanted to change that. I decided to take inventory of everything I did for a week. The start time, the end time, and I wrote it down, every activity. And what I found at the end of the week was I had wasted a great deal of time watching TV, doing tasks that probably didn't need to be done, having conversations that dragged on way too long, stuff like that. These are pretty common ways for people to follow themselves. And it happened to me. So how did I score points? How did I make it to my free throw line? Well, I decided to more frequently turn off the television. I decided to delegate some tasks, ask people to do those tasks that I didn't need to do. I also politely excused myself from conversations. I also set a timer to limit my Facebook time. Suddenly, I had time to do everything that I wanted to do. I was able to get to the free throw line and score points, just like Mike. And I guess that's what I'm encouraging everyone to do. Going forward, ask yourself, how can I be like Mike? How can I score points? How can I make it to my free throw line? And if you found this video helpful, maybe a little inspiring, and perhaps even entertaining, then help me score some points with the YouTube algorithm by hitting the like button below, subscribing, and maybe even leaving a comment. You know who I am. It's Tom, and I'll see you next time.